Hello Primary 4. Today I'm going to be talking you through the properties of different 3D shapes. So the first shape we'll start with is the cube, okay, and we're looking to see how many faces, edges or vertices, corners that each shape has. Okay, so starting with the cube, we have no curved faces, we have flat faces. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. 6 flat faces. No curved faces. And edges. Edges are where two flat faces meet. Okay, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 on the top, 4 on the bottom, and 4 at the sides here. So that gives us 12 flat edges. Okay. And vertices, the corners where the edges meet the faces, we have 4 on the top and we have another 4 on the bottom. Okay. Moving on to cuboids. Okay. Cuboids have two 2D shapes. At either end here we've got a square, and we have also got 1, 2, 3, 4 rectangles. So altogether that gives us 6 flat faces, no curved faces, and edges are exactly the same as our cube. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 at the top, 4 at the bottom and 4 down each side. Okay, so that gives us 12 altogether. And no curved edges. And finally we have exactly the same number of corners or vertices as the cube. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 at the top and 4 at the bottom. Okay, so we have got 8 altogether on both the cube and the cuboid. Okay, moving on to the cylinder, we have got 2 flat curved faces at either end, which are a circle shape, and we have got 1 curved face as well. So 2 flat faces and 1 curved face. We have also got 2 edges, and they are curved edges where the circles meet the curved face. Okay, so we've got 2 of those, and we have got no corners or vertices. Moving on to the cone, we've got 1 flat face, which is circle, and we've also got 1 curved face here. Okay, so 1 flat and 1 curved, and we've also got 1 curved edge here. Okay, 1 curved edge, and we have no vertices because we don't have 2 faces meeting each other, so this is not a vertex. Okay, and then moving on to the sphere, we have no corners, we've got no edges, we have just got 1 curved face, and we've got none of the others. There we go. Moving on to our triangular prism over here, and it's made up of 2 different 2D shapes. So we've got triangles at either end, and then we've got 1, 2, 3 rectangles, so that gives us 5 faces altogether, and there are 5 flat faces, no curved faces. And edges, we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9, and we have no curved edges. Okay, finally our corners, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, corners or vertices all together. Moving on to our triangular based pyramid. Okay, we've got one shape for each face, and that's a triangle, and we've got one on the bottom, and we've got 1, 2, 3 round the top here, so that gives us 4 flat faces altogether, no curved faces. And edges, we've got 1, 2, 3 at the top, and we've got another 1, 2, 3 at the bottom, so that gives us 6 flat edges, no curved edges. And our corners, our vertices, we've got 1, 2, 3 and 4 altogether. Okay, moving on to our square based pyramid. Again, we've got 2 different 2D shapes. We've got a square on the bottom, and then at the top we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles. So we've got 5 faces altogether, they're flat faces, no curved faces. And edges, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 at the top, and at the bottom 1, 2, 3, 4 edges at the bottom. So that gives us 8 flat edges altogether and no curved edges. And then finally our corners, our vertices, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all together. And lastly, we have a hexagonal prism, and we have again 2 different 2D shapes. At either end we've got a hexagon, and all around the side we've got rectangles. So we have 6 rectangles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the 2 hexagons, 7, 8, gives us 8 flat faces, and we have no curved faces. And then our edges, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we've got at this end we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and at this end we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So all together we've got 18 flat faces, and we have got 18 edges, flat edges, and we've got no curved edges. And then finally our vertices, we've got 6 at this end, and we've got another 6 at that end, giving us 12 all together. Okay, so here are all our different properties of our 3D shapes, and I've given you a few links to some top marks games that you can play, and this can help you with learning to find all these faces, edges and vertices for yourself for each of the different 3D shapes. Okay, it's also important that we can try and sort our 3D shapes, so we can use a Venn diagram for doing that, and this one is to sort the different faces from flat faces, curved faces and both. Okay, so we start again with the cube. We have on our cube no curved faces, just flat faces, so it would go here in the diagram. Next we've got our cylinder here, and we have got a curved face and 2 flat faces, so it will go in the middle. Next we've got our sphere. It only has a curved face, so it goes over here with the curved faces. That's going to stay. And we've got here a cone with a flat face and a curved face, so it would go in the middle. Next we've got a cuboid, who's got stuck to the triangular based pyramid. There we go. So we've got our cuboid, and again it just has flat faces, so it would go here. And we've got a triangular prism. Again, this one only has flat faces, so it goes here on the diagram. And we've got our hexagonal prism. Again, it only has flat faces, so it also goes this side. And then we've got our triangular based pyramid. It also only has flat faces, so it goes this side. And lastly, we've got our square based pyramid, and it also only has flat faces, so it goes over here. So we have now sorted our different faces on the Venn diagram. One curved only, two curved and flat, the cylinder and the cone. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shapes: the hexagonal prism, the cube, the triangular based pyramid, cuboid, the square based pyramid, and the triangular prism, that are all with flat faces. Okay, we can do the same with another diagram. We could use a Venn diagram again to sort shapes in terms of their edges. Okay, so shapes with flat edges and shapes with curved edges. Okay, so the sphere would have to sit outside the circle because it doesn't actually have any edges. We've got our cylinder, and it has a curved edge only, so it would go over this side. We've got our cone, it's got a curved edge and a flat edge, so it would go in the middle. Over here we've got our hexagonal prism. It only has flat edges, so it would sit over here. We've got our triangular based pyramid. It also has flat edges, so it would go here in the diagram. We've got our square based pyramid, also has flat edges, so it would go over here. Our cube has also got flat edges, so it would go over here. Cuboid also got flat edges too, no curved edges. And lastly, our triangular prism also has just flat edges. Okay, so those are two examples of how you could sort your 3D shapes according to their different properties. Again, please use the links I've given you to Top Marks games, and again you can practice doing lots of Venn diagrams or another type of diagram that you've done before when you've been doing data handling, a Carroll diagram, and you can play games about the Venn diagrams and the Carroll diagrams and sorting all your different 3D shapes. Okay, I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you and goodbye.